How many of you have at least once felt like your personality changes depending on the situation or the people you're with? I know that I have, and I'm guessing that a lot of you have as well. Did you also think that it was a flaw, like I did? That maybe I wasn't being myself in every part of my life? That I was being fake, or worse, pandering? But here's the thing, I couldn't have been more wrong. It is not a flaw at all. So why does this happen? Why do we seem to have multiple versions of ourselves? Do we even have one real self that we can point to and say, that's me? And most important, how can understanding this actually help you optimize your life and understand other people better? I'm going to answer all that for you because I looked it up, so you don't have to. So, who are you? Let me tell you, because of course, who else could do that but a stranger on the internet? But what I mean to say is that you do have a general self, a set of core morals or ideas that make you you. This general self allows you to have an identity, a life direction, and self compassion. Keep that in mind, we will come back to that. But it was foolish of me to think that we are always going to behave in one specific way. I got an interesting comment on one of my shorts recently that we have wrongly assumed the meaning of fittest in survival of the fittest. The fittest actually refers to flexibility, and that is true. We are adaptive beings. It means that we adapt to situations. And so it only makes sense that we also adapt our personalities according to situations. Research in social and personality psychology suggests that there are multiple selves that take over based on the context you are in. These selves are called role specific selves. You might have a very confident personality in general, but maybe when it comes to a work environment context, you just don't feel confident at all. It doesn't mean that you aren't in general. It just means that you aren't in that particular context. And when you understand that, you ask questions like, but why? Why am I underconfident in a work environment when I'm usually pretty confident in life? Well, then you may find answers like, maybe I'm pressured or insecure in this job. I will delve deeper in how to get a better understanding of yourself and others using this framework very soon in this video. So just stay with me a little bit longer. Now, what influences behavior? Mood. And what influences mood? The general self or the ever swapping role specific selves? Which one is it, guys? Which one is it? I can't hear you. Is it this or is it this? That's right, it is. Mood follows active role selves or role specific selves. But you might ask that how does knowing this affect you other than satisfying your curiosity? Well, how about reduction in anxiety, emotional regulation, avoiding resentment, and misunderstanding? All of which results in personal growth. Should you choose to accept it? You chose the red pill. Ah, so you're smart. My apologies. I misjudged you. Like, completely misjudged. Both the general self and the role specific self help us understand something different about ourselves or even others. When the general self can show us the overall pattern of a person, the role specific self helps us predict what will happen in a particular situation. What is this person like versus what is this person like in work meetings. Let's start from the big picture understanding that the general self gives us. What is this person like? You look at different areas of your life, different role specific selves at work, at school, with friends, with family, at vacation, etc. And you find out values that show up across most of these areas. Like, I generally want to be nice to people. I generally don't like spontaneity. I generally like to cry and fart. And as I told you earlier, keep that in mind. We will come back to that. Having a good sense of self reduces identity based anxiety. And now we come to the precise prediction, which role specific self gives us. Or what is this person like in work meetings? Here, you focus on who you or someone else is in a specific role. How do you usually act in that role when that part of you is active? For example, you are insecure in relationships, when in general, you may have a playful personality. What does that mean? What does that say about you? Maybe it has to do something with that asshole you're dating. Or maybe it is because of the kind of relationship you have with your parents. You tell me, I don't know you. But at least now you are asking and not just simply blaming yourself that that's just who I am. Now you can anticipate reaction, manage stress, or just simply prepare for a situation. What most of us end up doing is just blaming ourselves. I'm just a failure. I never have motivation. I'm always late. Are you, Adit? Are you? Probably. But when you realize that it might just be the role specific you that's failing at that task, that you start to reflect on what does this situation trigger in me to have that kind of reaction and how can I avoid it? Or when you're using this framework to deal with other people, you start understanding why people behave the way they do. You go from they're just an evil asshole to they are pretty hostile as a manager compared to how friendly they are when I visit them at their home. Maybe they're just insecure at their job or they feel pressured. Maybe it's the work stress. Maybe they are compensating. Don't get me wrong, it's not so that you justify their behavior. It's so that you know what you're dealing with and how to deal with it the best. So that you avoid an irrational emotional outburst and embarrass yourself, like I would. You're welcome. We spend way too much time expecting consistency from us or someone else across all kinds of situations. It's far more healthier to understand that that's not going to be true. And it is a good thing. So adjust your expectations by roles. Also, if someone is comfortable and satisfied in a specific role, their behavior seems to be aligned with their general self. They feel most like themselves. But if they are stressed or unhappy in a role, their behavior doesn't align with their general self. Or to say it simply, they feel unlike themselves. So if you feel unlike yourself at your job, with friends, with family, or in a relationship, it is time for some introspection. But there are times when you can lose control over these selves. This fluid switching between the multiple selves is healthy, unless when the different selves don't feel connected to each other at all. All the different selves are you, only different sides of you. But when that connection goes missing, that's when you stop watching this video and go to someone qualified. If switching between them is uncontrollable or confusing, or there are memory gaps and loss of agency, well, then that seems like a good start to a thriller film. Then the cells may feel like separate entities. There may even be internal conflicts between the cells. This disconnection, though, leads to fragmented identity, difficulty in forming a coherent life narrative, or predicting one's reaction. Huh! you get emotional whiplash, and a loss of authorship. So, the bottom line of this video is that stop feeling fake. You are a multifaceted, adaptive being, incredibly flexible. Reframe this idea of one fixed identity in your brain to one core, many expressions. And if something feels unlike you, then it is probably an issue with that aspect of your life, not your entire personality. Probably. I don't know who you are. I don't know if you're a good person. Have you even subscribed to the channel? Have you? Have you even liked this video? Have you even shared this with someone? Do you even comment? Do all of that and maybe I'll change my mind about you.